Hi everyone, I'm Yureki and welcome to my guide on Lightning proc on it uh, with SpellBlade. So I've seen many people complaining about SpellBlade by being weak and not being able to clear the content and enjoying then the game. So I decided to make this guide to maybe hopefully help someone enjoy SpellBlade since I think it's a really fun class. So I will explain the gear, the unique and the mandatory one, even though there actually is no mandatory unique, the skills and the passive. By then showing some gameplay, we will go into Monolith and see how I will perform. Hopefully I will not die. So, how does the skill and the build work? We play around melee hits, so we will use Mana Strike to proc Frostglow and Lightning Blast, and we will then use Surge to have even more burst damage, to proc even more Lightning Blast, so more melees, and even the static at the end of the Surge. So, what are the essential item and why we have Frostglow? Basically, we have a Frostglow, which, by the way, is turned of course into Lightning because of this dagger, which says that we have 42, well, even more, 47 if you're lucky, chance to cast Lightning Blast on crit with Frostglow. So this build is of course going to be around played around spell damage, even though melee damage will actually help us and will turn into spell damage, but we will see it later. So Lightning Blast cast has even more crit chance and critical strike multiplier. So is actually a really good dagger and enable us to use those two spells really well. So Frostglow, let's begin with the trees. We get crit chance, 6% is huge. Spell melee damage per 3 melee damage. So there we are. Melee damage is turned into spell damage. We of course want the melee attack can proc Frostglow. So Mana Strike and Surge will proc actually Frostglow. And this is what enables this build from the trees. 30% is not bad because we have a lot of attack speed, so we will be able to use it a lot. We then use those nodes. We max out Gift of Winter to have less mana cost requirement and chance to gain mana on cast, which actually will help us to not drain all the mana because this build is actually a lot mana hungry. You will see in the gameplay. We of course move up to make the skill do lightning damage, so we will not need to spec into cold damage, and we move down to have extra projectiles and volley of glass. So this is actually good for single targets. Kind of the same for lightning blast. So we move down to have more chains and convergence, which give us the ability to chain on the same target and have a bit more single target. I decided to take those nodes because we lack single target damage and we have plenty of AoE already, so those are kind of mandatory. But you can of course experiment and see if you have better success than me with the trip. We do also want Lightning Attunement to proc Lightning Edges, since we will spam a lot of Lightning Blasts, so this will probably be permanent up, and it gives us damage reduction, so pretty good to survive, and lightning damage, which of course all of our spells do lightning damage. We then move top to get Spark Charge, which is a really good status we inflict, is like a bomb that you apply on the enemies, which will then explode and do AoE damage. So we then get Final Spark, which will proc all the spark charges and detonate them instantly. So it will give us a lot of burst damage and more damage on spark charge. So pretty good. Mana Strike, our skill melee that will enable the spells. I'm gonna tell you, I already tried Firebrand. I tried to make it lightning, but overall Mana Strike is just better because firstly we need mana, and second, with those two nodes it become ranged and so you actually can start hit the enemies even from further, so kill them faster. We do get spark charges to get spark charge from Mana Strike 2. We of course want more mana from the Eat. We do need to go up here to get attack speed, and those two really good nodes which will give us global increased damage and global spell damage. So a lot of damage increase from Mana Strike, which is also why it is really good, even though Firebrand is a powerful melee skill for SpellBlade, but in this build Mana Strike is just mandatory. The teleporting strike reduce the mana you get, which sucks of course, but make Mana Strike ranged, so is actually really good. And unless you are a really good FPS player, like pro Valorant CSGO player, I suggest you to use this one because it makes the skill smooth and easy to use. So yeah, is a point. It sucks to use this one because like you think I don't need that, but then you realize you miss a lot of damage because you don't have it and you can't keep the cursor on every target. Moving on, Surge. Surge is powerful melee skill, also movement skill, and we do get spark charge from this one, 100%. So when we dash, we do apply all the sparking charge. We do get lightning blast cast from Surge, and we actually get 3 of them, so it's actually really good. On top of that, we do even get zigzag motion, which will make the skill powerful and do more damage from spell lightning damage. We then move all down to discharge to cast static on arrival, and really important, 5 points into this one, which will give us a static charge back when we cast Surge, so is really good. We do get 3 points into this one because the more static charge you have, the more damage Surge will do. And since we do use static and we get 200 sack from this one, we do want to get 3 points into this node too. Coming to static, which is our final skill of the 3, we move all the way to the left. Even so, I know I tried. We could possibly get another lightning blast cast from static to this with this node, but then it's too much mana angry the build, and the left side is actually a lot of damage. You will see the burst damage, like 61k base damage is insane. So we do get of course 100 sack maximum charges more. We want crit multiplier because we have a lot of crit chance. We need this node because this node will give us basically permanent max static charges all the time, because we do go in with Surge, we cast static on arrival, and the 3 seconds later all the critical strike you make gives you stacks back. And since we cast a lot of things and all of them cast, we will get a lot of stack back. We then move down and get additional enemy per 50 charges, which is of course good, and more range. We then finish with those 2 nodes because we have point to spend, and I do not recommend to get this one because yes, it is more damage of course, but it's also way too much mana because 1 mana per charge is just insane. It's 200 mana, so we cannot afford that. While Ace on Discharge is really good for Monolith, and Moment Charge, well, we need to get something, and I feel like it's good. As you see, I'm not using Frostclaw and Lightning Blast because we don't need them in hotbar, so we can get Enhanced Weapon, which give us just more damage, and Flame Ward, which is of course survivability, and Ward is our defensive layer number 1. So, talking about the passive, here we are. We do want Arcanist, 8 more intelligence, resistance, all good. Like, it's more damage, more word, retention is just good. I tried and it's not bad, like it's a lot of damage actually to get Elementalist and then get an Arcane Current to have even Arcane Lightning cast, which is a fine spell I guess, but is just more mana, and we We could afford it, but I just feel like attack speed is overall better and is just not worth it. It's just not worth it. I don't think it's also worth to spend many points into knowledge of destruction because we can get crit from the gear, and overall it needs tests. You can try it out, see if you need more survivability or not, and you can try. Is not bad, but isn't, I don't think is also the best. So moving on to Spellblade, we of course need points early on to move up. So we need we will get Arcane Warden, so more ward, more survivability, not bad. Points into melee damage, which as we saw from this one, convert into spell damage for the Frostclaw, and which will make Surge more powerful and will give us more damage. So also talking about melee damage, the melee damage we do thanks to this node, which we will of course max, will make the damage dealt by the spells we trigger with melees doing more damage. So melee damage is converted into spell damage. So our surge doing more melee damage means that the static and the lightning blast cast by surge will do more damage. So it's really powerful to have melee damage. Other than that, more survivability, lightning damage, and spark charge with lightning melee attacks. So a lot of spark. You will see how much sparks carry this build, and it's not only the spells which do damage, but a lot of damage, especially in the packs, comes from the spark charge. We then get some points into attack speed because it's not bad and it's more word, but essentially we want as soon as possible to maximize the mana river because it is just more mana and we need it since we basically get a really low mana back from mana strike since we get 80% less. So this node will actually help us a lot. We do then spec into Burden of Knowledge to get more spell damage, and 20 flat spell damage is not bad. It's actually really good, even because we cast a lot of spell. So it's not like one good spell benefit from 20 flat damage, but it's a lot of spells that get plus 20. We then get, well, I suggest you to get first Mental Fortitude and Prodigy to have more intelligence and word per second per intelligence, which will make just your survivability really great. And then we get 8 points to have increased word retention, which is of course good since we stack a lot of word, and increased cooldown recovery for surge. And 30% is a lot. 30% is actually a lot. You will see how much surge I can cast thanks to this node. We then get, well, first, before the Runemancer, I suggest you to take 5 points into calculated destruction from Sorcerer to get increased spell critical strike chance, and 3% flat is good because it will add to all the rest and will make you have a lot of crit chance. You like see 73 here, but in reality we will crit basically all the hits because we get crit also from the trees, so it is actually fine. I wish I could have a tool to see how much the spell actually need to crit, even because I'm not like Theorycraft god, and this build is just based on feeling. So you can improve it a lot by playing and by making your Theorycraft. We then get those two nodes from Runemaster, which I think, or at least feel really good, because one is a lot of damage, of course, since it is increased spell damage, and on 7 point we get even 7 more spell damage. So I feel like it's worth. This one is also really good for survivability. Is like at the end when you are almost level 100, you can then maximize it, or even earlier if you feel like you need more survivability, because we get less damage from shocked enemies, and of course they will always be shocked. Speaking about the gear, and then I will show how it works. As I explained, we need the dagger, and everything else is, maybe this one is mandatory because it empower our spark charge, but yeah, I'd say this one is mandatory. But like even here, un unless you're doing high tier content, you don't even need those two, all of them. Like you're fine with just one of them, or even either of them till you need to push high. The body is really good, so the body makes your survivability. So I'm using this one because, as you see, it drains my life HP and convert it into word. So it's really great for survivability. The helmet I was using for shatter build, so it has dexterity on it, but it gives you anyway a lot of crit chance. So until you fix your gear, it can help you to get like high, what is it, high crit chance. And on top of that, like you just need elemental lightning damage, which I don't have much because I recently came up with this build and I'm working properly on my gear, and I need to get like the legendary potential on the unique to get more lightning damage and more spell damage. The relic is also good. This relic, I just dropped it, by the way. I was using lightning damage, which was perfectly fine. This is probably just more damage. So, well, 6 spell damage, lightning damage flat, and lightning penetration will help you a lot. So, idols, well, idols, you just need lightning damage, critical chance, or HP, word, whatever you need to survive or deal more damage. Like I'd suggest there are no mandatory idols, just adapt them to whatever you actually need. How does the build work? So you have 200 seconds of static, you jump in, everything explode. When you don't have surge, you auto. So you auto and cast Frost Claw and Lightning Blast. You then go in, spam, go back, and as you see, the more enemies are here, the faster they explode. I'm actually enjoying the build a lot. Like flame, I don't think I explained it already. I hope so, but I will say it again. Flame ward is good for survivability, even though we don't spec into it, and enhanced weapon is just more damage. So I will show you now. Well, let's go there. I will show now the build and how it works into a monolith. Hopefully I will not die, even because I'm recording it one shot, so it will be a shame. I'm trying to find the shade to get more corruption. This one is kind of low, but still I hope it can prove the build is fair and you can actually enjoy it. But yeah, hopefully I will not die, please. As you see, Surge is already back up. And if there is no big single target enemy, you will just instantly kill everything. Like Pax stand no chance against this build, because you do a lot of AoE damage. And as you see, my stacks are basically always full. Okay, I do really enjoy this build. It's pretty active, but yeah, if you proc too much, you will end up with no mana and you're fucked. So it's kind of a roulette. Where do I have to go? Hopefully down here. Let me know if you will try this build. Let me know how you will feel and if you will make any changes, because I don't think it's of course maximized, and I don't think it's close to it. I think there are a lot of changes that can be made, adjustments, and I want to look for them and listen to them. if you want, guys, if anyone will see this build and will try it out and is curious about how it performs in bosses, I will upload later on a video doing like dungeon and boss, so let me know what you think about it. So yeah, this is the build. I hope you're gonna try it. It's really fun, and give a chance to SpellBlade because it's actually a really fun class to play. Bye bye everyone.